special because we just recently came back from the Global Forbes Summit in Abu Dhabi, which was not only a special summit due to wonderful discussions about our global community, about Ukraine, about our challenges, how to use our impact as global women leaders to make right things, to make right decisions. This was so special for me personally because with Heidi Kuhn, we created a special initiative there. But first, before you will see the video about Heidi Kuhn and her wonderful many years work, I will tell you the words of His Excellency Kofi Annan, United Nations Secretary General, because I think that these words, which are very emotional, and beautiful, and so wise, are fully telling of the story of Heidi Kuhn, special woman. You have turned minds into wines by replacing the seed of destruction with the seeds of life. And you have shown the world that even with the modest beginnings, a partnership backed up by persistence can make a real difference. Those words can be only said to someone who is absolutely dedicated to their mission. So first, let's see the video about Roots of Peace on the first day of spring.
Global greetings. My name is Heidi Kuhn. I'm founder and CEO of Roots of Peace, a humanitarian nonprofit deeply rooted in Marin County, California. Roots of Peace began with a vision from the living room of our Kuhn family home in Marin County, drawing from the ancient wisdom of these ancient redwood trees and a dream for a more peaceful world. For by removing a landmine and planting a grapevine, it is an act of peace. The forest is an enduring symbol of peace. It is in these same woods that American President Franklin Delano Roosevelt had a vision to gather delegates from nations across the world for the first United Nations Peace Conference following the horrors of World War II. And he dubbed these redwood trees as the temples of peace, to inspire the world to draw wisdom from the ancient peace written by nature into the rings of these beautiful trees. For the past quarter of a century, we have facilitated the removal of over 100,000 landmines, unexploded ordnance, and planted over 6 million fruit trees worldwide. We have impacted the lives of over 1 million farmers and families, spanning 10 countries: Afghanistan, Angola, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Cambodia, Croatia, Iraq, Israel, Palestine, Vietnam, and most recently, Guatemala. But let us be clear, this work is far from over. There are an estimated 60 million landmines perilously hidden beneath the soil in 60 countries around the world. Let us cultivate peace through agriculture. Redwood roots intertwine with each other to share nutrients and shared nourishment. We must do the same as human beings. We must intertwine our purpose with the plight of others. Such is the mission of Roots of Peace. We aim to provide our fellow human beings with the support necessary to grow, to endure, and to flourish. So as we set off on our Footsteps for Peace journey to commemorate the 25th anniversary, let us never forget that world peace starts at the roots.
Dear Heidi, thank you so much for being with us today. Good afternoon once again. Dear Heidi, first of all, I would like to ask you an open question about Roots of Peace, because the story of Roots of Peace is so beautiful, and it's also inspired by Princess Diana. It's inspired by many international communities in needs which you visit, many minefields which you visited as well. This is the story of the brave women who wanted to make a special step in this world, a step which will make the difference. So first of all, please tell us more about Roots of Peace, about your dreams for the coming months, about the goals which you have, which we have for the coming months. We'll be delighted to hear that. And I hope that our listeners from all over the world will join us to fulfill this mission, this purpose. Dear Heidi, please, if I may ask you to mute your...
Your Serene Highness, Princess Angelica, you are truly an angel to invoke this conference, this timely moment in world history. I bring you greetings from Marin County, California, where the original delegates of the United Nations gathered, as you've seen, beneath the towering redwood trees for following the atrocities of World War II. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt never wanted to see another war like World War II. We are on the vanguard of a possible World War III. And your time and effort with Svetlana in convening this months ago could not be more timely. My grandmother McNear taught me a very, very important saying when I was a little girl. Coincidence is a miracle in which God prefers to remain anonymous. It is no accident that we are having this conversation. I am now, 25 years later, after launching Roots of Peace and a vision of turning minds to vines, a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 6. And I speak with the ancient wisdom of women who must hold their children due to the horrors of landmines. I am a cancer survivor, a COVID survivor, and my footsteps for peace have never been more important than this moment. This is an anti-personnel landmine. There's over 60 million landmines silently poised in 60 countries. And today, as the grass grows, these anti-personnel landmines, $3 to put in the ground, about $1,000 to take out, grow and lurk beneath the soil. Children chase butterflies across fields. They repatriate and pick flowers for their parents. They kick a soccer ball out of bounds, only to lose a life or limb to a landmine. When I watched Princess Diana in the last year of her life, traveling to Angola, and then 3 weeks prior to her death to Bosnia-Herzegovina, I just thought, cancer is a landmine. None of us know when we're going to step on it. But landmines are a cancer to the earth, and the solution is removal. I was 30 years old when I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm, like the Beatles say, I'm 64, and I have more than doubled my life. And I think this moment is a time to call upon global citizens, not just to demine patches of land in Croatia, Angola, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and places I've traveled for the past 25 years. I stand with you, Princess Angelica, to call forth a mine-free world. It takes 8 pounds to detonate a landmine, which is the average weight of a newborn child. And as I celebrate the 25th anniversary of Roots of Peace, I don't want another quarter of a century of my children's life going on seeking a mine-free world. I want, at the end of my footsteps in life, to see a world without landmines. This is just insidious, what is going on. And again, with months of planning, I chose to take the first day of International Women's Month and consciously walk to a minefield. I was invited by the International Eurasia Press Fund to Azerbaijan on the Caspian Sea. And with the leadership of President Ahmoud, he took me for a 4-hour drive into Karabakh, a city I'd really never heard of. It wasn't in the news, but mile after mile after mile of this beautiful grape growing region was deliberately mined. The city of Karabakh was flattened. And yet, conversely, the best port wine that served the Soviet Union was from this area. This is an opportunity to call upon global citizens to turn mines to vines, killing fields into vineyards, blood into wine. And in countries that are Muslim, respecting the seeds we have in common as opposed to those which separate us, the grapevine represents life. And whether we ferment the grape, which in my culture in Napa, Sonoma County is a time-honored art, but in Muslim countries, for today is now Nowruz in Afghanistan, the new day, the beginning of the new year, it's the fresh grapes and it's the raisins. This month, at the end of this month, I will be a virtual keynote speaker at the Humanitarian Mine Action and SDG Conference in Baku. I invite you all to virtually join us. And in my remarks that I gave at the home of Alfred Nobel, who found his fortune in Baku and also discovered dynamite. For it is the dynamite that he discovered that I used when I went out with ANAMA, the Demining Azerbaijan Mine Action Authority, to detonate 8 anti-tank mines. The feeling, as you know, Angelica, to put your thumb on that device and detonate that mine. Let us use with all the global wisdom that we have to detonate an estimated 60 million landmines in 60 countries so that we can make the earth that is held hostage by these insidious seeds of destruction fertile once again. Svetlana, I had the honor of speaking to you for just a few moments. I will commit to doing everything that I possibly can to help you not be rated as the 5th highest contaminated mine affected country in the world. Let me tell you what is at stake here. It's not only the war that's raging, but again, the effects of the land that is held hostage by landmines. In 3 weeks, war has disrupted Ukraine agriculture, triggered higher prices, and the threat of global worldwide food shortages. Ukraine, nutrient soils yield 10% of global wheat exports, 14% of corn exports, and half of the world's sunflower oil. Now, while we may not be able to help the farmers immediately on this first day of spring, let us pivot back to the world's attention on Afghanistan. For as dear Ambassador Malik had said, I have had proudly as an American woman-led CEO of Roots of Peace for 20 years. I've worked in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the world's most heavily mined country, an estimated 10 million landmines lurking in a soil, conversely, that is 80% dependent upon agriculture for jobs. Now, since mid-August, 97% of the country is unemployed. Princess Angelica, I stand with you to call forth 1,000 golden shovels and take those guns and aim them at the earth with shovels, turning literally swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks, so that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Those are words to live by. They're across the street from the United Nations. And Secretary General Kofi Annan, the dear late Secretary General, and Mayor Bloomberg bestowed that garden beneath those words etched in stone to Roots of Peace shortly after 9/11. In May 2002, we planted an olive tree. And I hope we can bring, Angelica, people back to that garden together on International Women's Day with gratitude to Forbes 30 over 50 Summit. You and I stood on the soils of Abu Dhabi, 2 women, 2 shovels, and a call to action for 2 fingers, which in my generation, as a student at UC Berkeley in the 70s, meant peace. But I mean peace. We need to dig deeper and remove the landmines so that the peace can flourish on the one earth that we share. I salute all of you so much and stand in solidarity as the world does with Ukraine. We pray for the Ukraine deeply in our hearts, whatever our faiths, but we must take action. This is spring, it's time to plant. The children who are trying to evacuate these humanitarian corridors, deliberately mined so that, and butterfly mines, the children pick up shiny cluster munitions drop from the sky. Children pick them up, and as the fathers stay on the front line, bravely fighting for their country, the children are blowing up. I mean, the world should understand, blowing up in front of their mother's eyes as if there was not enough carnage. This is a time for a mine-free world. This is a time in all faiths to turn swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks, so that nation does not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Thank you, Your Serene Highness.
Thank you.